Alright everyone, welcome back to the Game Vault. I'm Captain Beefy as always, and this is No Man's Sky. So we are continuing our quick start guide, but we've gone beyond running missions right now. We made it to the Anomaly, and once you make it to the Anomaly, you have the opportunity to open this game up quite a bit. So we left the Anomaly, and I looked around the system we were in, found a decent enough planet, and went and did some major preparation there, farming and whatnot. But while we're here real quick, we're going to stop by the mission agent. I said always stop by and see this guy when you can. And as you can see, he's got two missions. Neither of them give us nanites or units, but they both give us a prize, organic piping and fuel oxidizers. So those things will be tradable for units later on. I'm going to look around real quick too, just to see if there's a traveler here. That's something I recommend you do once you get the game opened up, is look for a traveler. What's a traveler look like and how's he different? Well, oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? Huh. So that right there is awesome. That is a Class S exotic ship. Very hard, well, not very hard to get, but rare. You know, these are rare. And it's in this system. But what's cool is this system, we're planning on building a base here anyway. So that ship, my friend, that ship is going to be mine one day. I'm telling you that right now. It's 5 million units, right? That's a lot. What do we have? 26,000 units. 1,600 nanites, 0 quicksilver. So we're in bad shape right now, monetarily. But this first base that we put down, that's going to change everything. So let's take a look at the system first. We'll go in here under Discoveries. As you can see, there's quite a few planets in here, which is great. This is going to be a good system to build in. Now, it's comfortable. It doesn't have the best economy. It's high conflict level, which isn't great. But look at that. We got a first wave exotic. We got a gamma intensive planet, which can provide us with uranium. We can get ammonia off that one, uranium again. This is a forsaken planet, good for not much. But here's the one, this little moon, this viridescent planet. Copper, paraffinium, and cobalt on it, right? A planet like that, we will be back for you, ship. A planet like that is good to build on. Viridescent is kind of Earth-like, right? It's got decent fauna and flora. The weather isn't horrible. I don't have super, it's not super hot. It's not super cold. Now this one does have superheated rainstorms on it, which kind of suck. But I dealt with that, and I spent a couple hours on this planet today. Just basically wandering around and gathering resources. And let's land, take a look at it, and we're going to find a location to set up our first real, this won't even be our first real base. This is going to be a temporary base because we've got some stuff we need to do on the Anomaly before we decide where we're really going to set up shop. So we're just going to land here. And we're going to take a look at the inventory now. We got all these gases here. It's just kind of rare to get a bunch of gases on it. I don't remember where we got the uranium. I think we might have already had that. Here's what's important, though. Plenty of carbon, condensed carbon, sodium nitrate, a decent amount of oxygen. Look at that, almost 10,000 silicate powder. That's a lot. We have enough chromatic metal to get going with, some activated copper, which I found on this planet. A lot of cobalt, a lot of dihydrogen, decent amount of salt, not much, but let's put this on the Starship too. But right here, oh crap, let's get on the ship. I'm being dumb. Alright, here's the important stuff. Salvaged data, 90 of them, right? 30, 60, 90. That's a lot. Remember how we looked and said, to buy the building materials you need salvage data, and some of them can be expensive. I think the Solar panel alone was 8. So we've got enough to pick and choose some very important things that we're going to need to set up a good base that will not just be a place to live, or not live, but to, settle in and maybe do stuff in, but also it's going to be a place that's going to gain resources for us and hopefully make us some units and fairly quickly. That 26,000 isn't a lot, and we want 5 million to get that ship. Now down at the bottom here, viscous fluids, residual goop, living slime, and runaway mold. All of these things turn into each other, and eventually you end up with runaway mold. And when you do that through the refiner, and when you refine it, the runaway mold, it turns into nanites. So that number of nanites is going to go up, not by a ton because it takes quite a few, but it's still going to go up. So let's take a look here and see. We've got plenty of carbon. We'll use the condensed carbon for now. And, whoops. Those things turn into nanites too, but right now they're too precious. So you see the viscous fluids turn into living slime. Residual goop turns into viscous fluids. And the living slime turns into runaway mold, and the runaway mold turns into nanites. So what we're going to do right now is just chill out. Maybe I'll build a second one of these, right? Yeah, it doesn't take much, and we got the stuff. We'll get 2 of these running at the same time. And that'll just help speed up the process, because it is a little bit time consuming. And I would have preferred to wait to do this to when I had my base set up, so I could be, just start building and just throw a couple of these down and get them rolling. But unfortunately, we need these nanites because we're gonna get some upgrades for our exosuit, our multi-tool, and our ship. And all of those are going to be... So we want as many nanites as possible to get the ones that we really, really want. I didn't do any math ahead of time to look and see what they are, so we're just kind of spitballing it here. So we'll cut for now and get back when we have all of this stuff fixing to turn into nanites. Alright, well, we're almost done making everything into runaway mold, and I got a lot of runaway mold, and the way I did that is I found something called a curious deposit on the planet's surface. So if you ever see that, go up to it. They are these big round, they look like boulders basically, but they roll when you hit them with your mining beam, and they give you this runaway mold. And there was about 6 or 8 of them, I reckon, something like that. So there was quite a few of them. That's how we got so much of that. I'll put this in the suit, and actually we're gonna, this early in the game we don't have much use for star bulb. I think we can, yeah, we could turn that into carbon, so that's a quick fix. And then we can pick this puppy up. And this is all done with the runaway mold. Let's refill the condensed carbon thing, and we will start to process the runaway mold. Look at that, 3,737. It's going to turn into 747 nanite clusters. Not bad, right? 5-to-1 ratio. I mean, it's not a ton, but it's enough to get us a thing or two that we're going to want to have for our character. So we'll get that going, and that takes a few minutes. But in the meantime, while I stand around and do this kind of stuff, we'll talk a little bit, and then we'll cut until it's done. So while this is going on, I don't just stand there and do nothing. I'll sit there and collect carbon, and I'll collect ferrite dust and salt if possible, a little paraffinium, oxygen if I can. During my initial run through on my as I collected for this plan, as I collected all my resources, I scanned everything I came across, and I got That's how I ended up with 26,000 units, because if you recall, we dropped a bunch of units in the last episode and we're down to almost nothing. So that helped to rebuild that a little bit. Now, as you can see, I have in my cargo all my 3 forms of ferrite. I don't have much magnetized, but that's okay because pure turns into magnetized and regular dust turns into pure. As far as all of this goes, everything in the top row is essential. It is all there for building and charging things, anything from my life support to my shields to my mining beam and all that. I have almost 10,000, almost a full stack. There's 9,999 in a stack of silicate powder. Now the silicate powder I got because there are heavy storms on this planet that are very hot. And from time to time, when they would pop up, and as I was running around looking for stuff, I would just dig a hole in the ground and start running underground while I'm firing my terrain manipulator ahead of me, basically digging a tunnel. So there's tunnels all over this planet now because of me. And the way I ended up with 90 of these is I scanned, looked around with my scanner, and let's see if we can find one from here. Of course not. Take a little bit of a run and see. There's one. So you see these buried technology modules. I would mark them by holding down X and then go towards them. And as I'm running towards them, I'm gathering stuff. I'll stop if it's not quite done. I don't have a lot of speed, so I can't run too much yet. So, but I would just run around and collect as many of those as possible until I got out. My goal was 60, or actually my goal was 45. And then I got too many, for 3 stacks, because there's only 15 in a stack. So then my goal became 60, and eventually that kept happening, and it ended up being 90. So anyway, we're almost done with this. We'll cut and come back once we have all of our nanites, and then we are headed. I'll pick it up on the Anomaly. All right, so we'll see in a second. Unexpected happened while I was refining this stuff. That's why we're coming back early. We got attacked by some pirates, and they damn near killed me. I'm just standing around minding my business. So we're going to pick this up. Obviously, we can't make 2 into anything, so it remains in there. Let's pick this puppy up. There's a bad storm going on, the whole 9 yards. So I dug a hole in the ground and just kind of bravely hid. We're going to get back into our ship, and we're going to go. So yeah, when you find a planet that you're thinking of settling on, you definitely want to look and see if those salvage technology modules are on there. If you see them right away, even if it's just one you see right away, they're on the planet, and you can farm them. And I highly recommend an early farm of them, and this is why. As you can see, we're up to 2,400 nanites, which is a pretty solid amount. I don't know if that's going to be enough to do everything we want, but there are a couple things I want to focus on for our ship, and especially our suit, as well as our little multi-tool. There's a couple things I want to do for that as well. So. And I kind of want to get a second multi-tool if possible. Or at least trade this one in if they have a better one here. So here we are, we're back. In the good old, beautiful Anomaly. And first things first, we're going to see if we can make a couple more nanites real quick. There's a couple places we can check. We can talk to Helios here. I think that's his name, right? Yep, Helios. Give data on the floor, okay. So, look at that, 110 more. This guy sometimes, I don't, Ares. We'll transmit the milestone data. Every time you get a new milestone, you can trade it to him for more nanites. It kind of flashed and disappeared. I don't know how much we got, but look at that. We got an extra 510 altogether, so that's solid, right? That might be another upgrade that we want. So first things first, let's go to the building supplies here, the construction research station, and we're going to pick out things that are going to help us expand this base and grow. A huge thing is going to be this medium refiner. I know it costs 10 data, but that is going to help us make a fortune. Another thing that we're going to want out of here is I do like to get the galactic terminal. That's another 10. I kind of like the landing pad and the advanced landing pad, but we're not really going to mess with them as of yet. It's just not essential. Signal booster, not really right yet. None of this is necessary. Transport modules, nothing there yet. No aquatic, no design stuff. That we save for last. All these decorative modules and all that cool decorative stuff we save for later. We don't really need lights in the beginning. Here we go. We want a mineral extractor. Of course, you want the supply pipe. You want a supply depot. You want a gas extractor. Down here, we want this electromagnetic generator. So we need the solar panel to do that. We'll get that. This is a static thing here, electrical cloaking unit. It just hides those unsightly wires. You don't need that, but I get it just because I like it. And now we will go back and take a look at some of this stuff. Not going to get anything for plants. We have the basics for building. We have a wall. We have a roof. We have a floor. So we don't need to focus on that right now. Let's go back to okay, storage unit. Definitely want one of those to start with. And we'll go back to the technology modules. We've got, what, 15 more to go that we can spend. Well, the signal booster comes in handy. A large refiner comes in handy, but it's really not necessary this early, and none of this is necessary this early. So I guess we could go for a landing pad. We don't need the alternative one. What do we got? 4 left. Well, we'll just hold on to those 4 for now, because they will come in handy later on. So we learned a whole bunch of base parts. Now we're going to talk to Hyperion here. And we're going to look at Starship Upgrades and see what we want to do here. So, teleport receiver's nice. The economy scanner's great. Conflict scanner's also great. That way when we're about to warp, we can tell what kind of place we're getting into. But we're not going to focus on that as of yet. What we're going to focus on is getting the infra knife module first off. And then we're going to get the resonator for it. Even though we can't build either of them yet, this gives us something to look for there. This guy gives us upgrades for our suit. Let's take a look at what he's got. Now, for the jetpack, this is all going to help us out quite a bit, and we can pretty much afford it. I mean, the water jet's not a big deal, but getting advanced jump capabilities is nice. I'll take that. I keep hitting things too soon. The neural stimulator gives us more power in the tanks, better sprint distance, a better recharge rate, and faster sprint recovery time. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. What else? Very important in the beginning. The airburst engine, airborne recharging, not as important yet. So that's basically to get around. And I got a couple things I really, really want, and that's what we're focusing on here first. So multi-tools. Now, we could make our mining beams better and all that, but we're going to work on this waveform recycler, which makes our scanner a little bit better. But more importantly is the next one that we're going to get, and that is the survey device. The survey device is fantastic because it allows us to find resources on the planet that we can use those extractors that we bought to locate, right? So we do have almost 2,000 nanites left. We got a lot of nanites left, which is great. But we've got a crappy gun. Let's look at the weapon terminal real quick and see what he's got. Well, little Class C waveform inject. That's a cool looking one. And it's disgustingly out of our range. Okay. So we can't get that. This guy, of course, is for the exocraft, but we don't own one yet, so we're not even going to worry about him. I guess we're going to leave those nanites for now, just because we don't really have a reason to spend them as of yet. And I think it wanted us to see Polo here. Nope. Or was it Nada? Maybe it was Nada. All right. And that's just basically choose what you want there and head on out. So we're going to go back to the ship now. And keeping some of those extra nanites in case we get upgrades for our ship or our weapon or our, our multi-tool or our suit that we want to buy. Those will come big time in handy. So we're going to head back down to that planet. I'm going to start looking for a location, but first things first, we need to install some technology, and the main one we want to install is this survey device. Now, we don't have any of the parts for it, so those can usually be purchased on a space station. So that's something we're going to go look at right now. Space station is down here. There we go. We're going to zip it. Oh. And get a phone call first from some kind of weird unknown traveler guy. We'll take it. And again, I've never really noticed these choices meaning anything at all, and making a difference in the game, so play it how you want and have fun. I'm just rushing through it because I want to get down to that planet. Or actually, I want to get to the space station here and see if I can install that on my multi-tool, because that'll be fantastic if I can. Another thing I want to look at is maybe making $1 or $2, although I doubt we can yet. I don't think we can yet, really. We don't have enough cobalt. Cobalt's important. Cobalt can make you some money. I know we don't have any chlorine, but if there's chlorine on this base, this will be a base where we can make some money as well. We do have those 2 active missions from this guy over here, so that's kind of cool. There's the wiring looms, the magnetic resonator, and the quantum computer. All right, so something you can do with things like this is you can pin the details, right? So we need, what, 1 of each? Do we have enough? Oh, this will suck if we don't. We don't have enough for the wiring loom, that's for sure. But a resonator and a quantum computer, we do. Oh, we need 3. Criminy. Alright, well, we're going to need to make some money. What do we have that we can sell? Let's look on the ship first. So the sulfurine isn't important to start with. Neither's the radon, neither's the nitrogen. None of those are a big deal. Uranium we can live without. Platinum, some decent money. The gold we can get rid of. Yeah, the Viking effigy, goodbye. Even the silver, all of that's easy to get through just flying around, so we can get rid of all that. That gives us 108,000. And then in my own inventory, get rid of this crap. I mean, it ain't much, but it's something. We could dump off the cobalt for 683,000, but I don't want to do that yet. So let's look again. We needed 2 more of these, right? And then we need 2 wiring looms. $118,000. Well, there is a lot of cobalt on that planet. So reluctantly, we're going to dump it. And we're just going to dump it all. Screw it. Take those 2. And, you know, while we're here, let's look at what it will take to install. Okay, phosphorus. Alright, well, we don't really want to mess with that since it takes phosphorus. But in the exosuit, well, that's a no-brainer. Now, when you have stuff like this oxygen recycler, and you put it next to another life support thing, they support each other a little bit, so we're going to do that. We'll move this over here. The jetpack. Tritium and hydraulic wiring, we can buy that for sure. Chromatic metal and condensed carbon. Alright, well, let's put that one in. And as you can see, they benefit each other, but did I screw up? There we go. Alright, now it's on there. But we also want to install the rocket boots, right? So we have the tritium, and we just need 1 more hydraulic wiring, so we'll buy that. Oh no, there's no hydraulic wiring. Crap. Alright. Well, that was a bust for now. But you see why we gathered up a whole bunch of stuff, because we were able to do all that without any issues. So we definitely want to get some hydraulic wiring, but we can't right now. But we now have an analysis mode, right? That's kind of cool. Target sweep and analysis. When we get down to the planet, that'll be helpful in establishing where our first base is going to be located. Come out here and regather a little bit of silver and gold and tritium if you so want, but we're going to just focus on the planet for now. Alright, well, we're going to get down there and check things out, and for now I'm going to end this episode No Man's Sky. Thanks for joining me and looking at prioritizing certain things so that first base that you build can be a monster. And let me tell you, we're going to build something that, it's not going to be a monster at first, but it's going to have what it takes to make us some money fairly quickly. Because once we start earning units, the rest of the game is a piece of cake. And this little bit of drudge work in the beginning, this little bit of grind, it will pay off tenfold. So thanks for joining me. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel and ring that bell so you can see the follow-up video to this and learn what we're going to do next. And don't forget to share us on social media. It's greatly appreciated. I will see you next time.